So Lindsey
was on Jesse Waters last night, and I saw something that was interesting, so I figured we would go and do that little segment.
We need to take their pensions and disbar them for life. They're at war with us. It's time we act like it. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is a Judiciary Committee member who joins me now. So, Lindsey, you know, I hate when these things happen with Trump. They have these horrible raids against the president of Mar-a-Lago, and Republicans come out and say, we need hearings. We need hearings. The party is pissed, Senator. We need a lot more than hearings. Are we going to get that?
Well, what we need is the predicate for the warrant, because we're talking 90 days before a midterm election, right? 90 days. We're talking about raiding the home of the former president of the United States, the most likely nominee of anybody on the planet to be running in 2024. Is it plausible the FBI would open up an investigation of Donald Trump without merit? Hell yeah, they've done it before. So when I hear Axelrod say it's not plausible that Merrick Garland would open up an investigation without significant evidence, where were you during Crossfire Hurricane when they opened up an investigation on the Republican nominee Donald Trump with a bunch of BS? So how do you clear all this up? Tell us the predicate for the warrant. Reveal the affidavit. This is too important to democracy. We're in uncharted, dangerous waters, so I'm calling on Merrick Garland tonight to address the nation as to why this happened. Lay your cards out on the table, because you're doing a lot of damage to the country.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to say anything, does he?
I was just watching him for a little while. I just wanted to see how it flowed, because in the beginning of his talking and listening to Jesse, he was just kind of very mellow. That's the best word I could use to describe it. It's mellow. It's like a sleepy person interacting with someone. There's not a whole lot of movement. They're not in deception mode. Now that he's getting into it, it's kind of like, oh, okay. So now he's getting into his lawyer mode. For those of you who do not know, this man maybe still is, but was a lawyer for many, many years.
He doesn't have to say anything. The White House can say, we're not going to comment. The FBI director can stay in the Adirondacks at his little retreat and go canoeing. And Merrick Garland's just going to hide at the Justice Department. There's really no need for them to come out and do anything. They're emboldened. They can do whatever they want.
Garland can just hide behind his little mask. The FBI director can just hide in the Adirondacks. And you've got Lindsey at this point. He's constantly filtering like whatever comes out of his mouth. He's thinking, how do I get through this? But at the same time, you're seeing a positive head movement. So the look is, I don't want to disagree with Jesse, but in the mind is sitting there saying, how do I get through this? How do I address this situation?
And they don't actually care. They don't actually care about having to answer questions, do they? What are we going to do?
That I found really important as well. They don't actually care. It filters again. They don't care. I'm going to assume that they do care. And it's the buzz around Washington at the moment. Because you see the mouth movement, the filtering, particularly on those type of words, they do care. I guess it didn't go the way they thought it would. I don't know.
Do to make them answer questions, Senator?
What are we going to do to make them answer questions, Senator? Whole lot of stress. That, believe me, look comes up like, head goes slightly back. What are we going to do? Don't look at me. That's literally what that advertises. Don't look at me. Oh, Lindsey being Lindsey. I mean, come on, you got to laugh at it at this point. The whole thing's a joke.
Well, I think every Republican, including myself, should be calling on the Attorney General to justify the raid on the former President of the United States home, the likely nominee for 2024. Tell the country why you had to do this, why you couldn't use a subpoena, why it was necessary, and what the hell you're looking for. That's not too much to ask. I know normally you don't do that, but normally you don't open up investigations of former presidents. Again, here we go again. I lived through Crossfire Hurricane. I lived through the Mueller investigation. The FISA court rebuked the Department of Justice for providing false information to the court to obtain a warrant against Carter Page. Is it plausible the same people would be going after Trump again 90 days before the midterms? So the pathway for President Trump to become the nominee is much wider now than it was yesterday. The likelihood of him being reelected is greater than it was yesterday, because if you got something that is really so compelling, you had to go into the man's home with guns drawn to get the information. tell the American people, to every Republican listening to me, we should be clamoring and demanding answers to the questions of why they had to raid President Trump's home 90 days before an election.
Yeah, and I love having you on, Lindsey. You and I have debated about things, and I've seen you pretty spitting mad over Ukraine. But you don't seem as mad as you were about this than you've been mad about Ukraine. I don't understand why people aren't lighting their hair on fire. I don't understand why people aren't out in the streets. Yeah. This isn't like, oh, well, let's just see what's in the warrant. I mean, they've been doing this. This is the third election. This is the third election. We know they doctor
Jesse,
evidence. We know they plant evidence.
Yeah, sure.
We know they hide evidence. We know they lie. We know they leak. I mean,
we know they hide evidence. We know they lie. We know they leak. Right at the beginning of that, he jerks himself back, holds himself a little higher, but away. It's like, really? See, nothing came out of his mouth that we all didn't know would come out. The narrative of let's find out what's in the paperwork just ain't flying. So Jesse comes through and blows that whole narrative away and forces Lindsey to the new reality of we see what's going on. We know you leak. We know you lie. We know you hide evidence. And that's why you get the reaction you do from Graham. Because they are doing it, which means he is doing it too.
This is not anything new. This has been years they've been doing this. We can't just say, we're waiting for the guy to come out and give a statement about what.
You see the hard swallowing now. It's been years hard swallowing constantly.
What is predicated? I mean, what? These people are out of control, Senator.
Very tight-lipped, forced smile in the mouth, nowhere else in the face.
This country is at, we're on the edge of a cliff, man. I'm telling you, this country is at the edge of
extreme stress. We're going to scratch our eyebrow, look away. What do? We're on the edge of a cliff.
A cliff here.
Yeah, no, I got you. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I want to come on your show and tell you things that I know are not going to happen. I can't make them stop. I can urge them and stop the process of normal business in the Senate until we know more. We're going to have an election in November. You want to stop these people? Fire them. If you want to get a president of the United States that knows what the hell they're doing, pick somebody other than Biden. You're dead right. I lived the Mueller investigation. Is it plausible?
All right, so then you go back into his lawyer mode and he talks. Because basically everything interesting that happened was when Jesse was talking. He was answering the questions, telling you exactly what was going on while Jesse was talking. They hide, they lie, they leak. They have no intention of doing anything else. And this is all his failed attempt to control the narrative. Good job, Jesse.
If you like it, please share and subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
To be notified of all videos that get released, because not all of them can be posted here, in the description is a link to our Telegram channel, and if you subscribe, you'll be notified of every single video, and we don't spam it with anything else other than video releases.